Good day, this is Carol from Homesteading Made Easy. I will be making some sourdough bread today. This is the recipe I use. This is for 1 loaf, but I will be making 5 loaves today. I start with my warm water. I just use tap water because we have our own well. Then I add half of the flour, stir that. Add the starter, the sourdough, stir that together, then add the half of the flour, what you still have left, stir it, then add the last flour and the salt, then stir that all together. Then you're ready to do the next step. So I will make sure your scale is at 0. Like I said, I just use tap water because we have our own well. So I will be making 5 loaves today. Now I will add my, actually I use what we call crushed wheat. It's not really, it looks like a flour, but they don't really call it flour. This is what I use. And this is a 30-pound pail of crushed wheat. And I don't know if you do get it, somebody told me if you get a pail, and once this is empty, you can take the empty pail back and get a $10 discount. So that brings down the cost of the crushed wheat. And if you don't have a store local, there's a website clear at the bottom that you can check it out if you want to use this kind of for your flour. Now I'll be adding the crushed wheat. I need 1125. Oops, I need to zero it out first. This is the half of the crushed wheat I will be needing for my loaves, 5 loaves of bread today. A little bit too much. Okay, that's good. Then I'll stir this together till it's mixed real well. There, I got that mixed together. That's the water and the first half of the crushed wheat. And here's my sourdough. Looks very nice. So I will be adding this next, whatever amount I need for 5 loaves. Now you mix that together. You mix in your sourdough starter. Mixing in some more flour. Or I shouldn't call it flour because it's not really a flour. It's a crushed wheat. It has more nutrition in it than the flour you buy which I get this at a store too. But the flour that you buy out of what would you call a normal store? what a lot of people use that has no nutrition. This crushed wheat is processed different than your typical flour. Okay, so I will be adding my last crushed wheat and my salt. Then I'll mix it together real well. Now, there it is, all mixed together. And here is a tip that I learned from a friend. Fill a bowl of warm water, hot water, and set your bowl of dough on top and cover it. The warm water will help it rise better or ferment better. And I like to sit it at the window if the sun is shining, so the sun can shine on there. That will help. It just makes a nicer, softer bread. So here I got some more sourdough. And if you don't want to be feeding your sourdough every day and baking with your sourdough, this is what I do. Here's a container. I use this container. I put in 1 cup of the crushed wheat, 1 cup of warm water, and 1 cup of the starter. Mix it together and set it in my fridge. Then the next time I'm ready to bake some more bread, I take it out of the fridge, set it on the counter for a while, and I put it in a big enough container so when it rises, so it has plenty of room. I put it in here, add approximately 2 cups of this crushed wheat and 1 cup of warm water, mix it together, and cover it with saran wrap. I usually do that in the evening. Then the next morning, usually early in the morning, it has risen during the night and starting to fall. But I discovered if I add another 2.5 cups of the crushed wheat and enough water so to make it a nice dough, and let it rise again for 2.5 hours, then I use it. I discovered I have my loaves rise nicer if I do that than if I just use it right away in the next morning. Oh, I forgot one step. So for this, I will let this sit for 1 hour. I'll set the timer for 1 hour. Then I will, what you call, stretch and fold, and I will show how you do that. You stretch and fold it, then do another 3 30-minute session of stretch and fold, let it set, stretch and fold, let it set before you put it out in your pans. Here is my starter that I will be putting in the fridge. I put in 1 cup of the starter, 1 cup of crushed wheat. This is how the crushed wheat looks like. Just looks like any other flour. I use it as any other flour. Then I add 1 cup of water. I mix it well together. So I will set this in the fridge, and I probably won't use it for approximately a week. And there will a liquid will gather on top. You can pour it out, or you could just mix it in. If you mix it in, you might need to add more of your flour or crushed wheat, whatever you're using, when you mix it the next time, because your starter will be not as thick as it is right now, so it might need more flour or crushed wheat, whatever you're using, to get it to where you want it, to be thick enough. So you don't want it really runny, maybe something like this when you mix it. So here I have extra sourdough. I will just look for recipes on Pinterest. I found some recipes of cookies or cinnamon rolls or crackers, whatever you want to make. I'll just look for recipes to use the rest of my discard. We're ready for our stretch and fold. So what I like to do is wet my hand. If you wet your hand, the dough doesn't stick as much to your hand. Then you grab one side, fold it over. Wet my hand again, grab another side. You want to rotate your bowl, fold it over. You do that 4 times of stretch and fold each time you do a stretch and fold. Okay, now it's ready for the next 30 minutes. I changed my water because it cooled off a little bit. Put in hot water again and set my bowl of the dough on top of my water. Okay, I'm ready for the last step. Ready to put my bread into my pans. Here is the dough all ready. Here's another tip that I learned from a friend is if you grease your surface with whatever you want to grease it with before you put on your flour, or if you're using crushed wheat, that way your dough doesn't stick. It's an easier cleanup. So what I do, I grease my surface, add a nice layer of flour or crushed wheat on the surface. And if you have more than 1 loaf, you want to weigh, each loaf should weigh 2 pounds. So I put a little bit of flour on there, make sure your pans are greased. Now I'm ready to get my dough out of the bowl. It's a little bit sticky, but that's the way it's supposed to be. I'm going to try and get some flour or crushed wheat on the outside surfaces so it doesn't stick too much to your hands. Add more crushed wheat if you need to. Like I said, each one needs to weigh 2 pounds if you do more than 1 loaf. It's not quite 2 pounds. Okay, as you can see, I actually have 5. Well, what I'm going to do with one is I'll put it aside. Then I'm going to use this for my pizza. I'm going to make pizza for supper tonight, and I'm going to use this for my crust. Okay, now you kind of want to, or this is the way I use it. It's a little sticky and it sticks to my hand, so I just put on more flour so it doesn't stick to your hands. And you just kind of want to roll it up so that your top is, you know, nice and smooth. Just form it to a nice loaf, then set it in your pan. And I usually like to make 1 loaf of bread with cheese and hot peppers. has some shredded cheese here. Just spread that out on your dough. You can put on the amount of cheese you want, more or less. You get to choose that part, or what kind of cheese you want to use. This is cayenne pepper, dry cayenne pepper. And there again, you just put on the amount that you want. You want it hot, not as hot. There again, I just roll it up. And put it in your pan. So I got my bread in my pans and I set them on my windowsill because the sun is shining bright. I think they rise better if they're in the sunshine, if it's sunny and you have a place to set them in the window or by the window. And here's something else that I've learned already is if you don't have time to bake it right away, you do all the steps up to, you put it in your pans, then you can put it in the fridge till the next day and bake, take it out of the fridge the next morning or whenever you have time and bake it. I know some people leave it in the fridge, a couple days, up to 3-4 days. But so far I've never did that. I put it in my pans once. An emergency came up, so I set it in the fridge, covered it up, and left it in the fridge till the next morning. Then I got it out of the fridge and set it on the counter or wherever you want to set it till it had risen to where I want it. I'm ready to bake my bread now. I put it into a cold oven. I will bake it 375 for 40 minutes. If you put it into a cold oven, it will rise a little bit more than what it is now. Have an amazing, blessed day.